He stumbled upon a disturbing secret in their wedding photo. His wife had her fingers crossed, a gesture that meant she was asking God for forgiveness. This meant their marriage wasn't legitimate. The next day, Truman didn't confront her. Instead, he carried on as usual, determined to find out what this woman he'd lived with for years was really hiding. As he left the house that morning, Truman deliberately crossed his own fingers and said he was wishing her a great day. His wife froze for a moment, then quickly flashed him that perfect smile before rushing off to work. Intent on getting to the bottom of things, he quietly followed her to the hospital where she worked. A nurse blocked his path at every turn, so Truman asked her to pass along a message to his wife, then turned to leave. But it was just a feint. He doubled back and tailed the nurse. Suddenly, a patient in a wheelchair came barreling toward him, clearly trying to stop him, but Truman easily dodged out of the way. Then in the hallway, he ran into an orderly pushing a cart who kept weaving back and forth, deliberately blocking his path. Truman shoved the cart aside and finally made it to the operating room where his wife was supposedly working. What awaited him was a laughably bad performance. The surgeon was about to make his first incision when the supposedly anesthetized patient suddenly sat bolt upright. Truman caught this bizarre scene, but what he'd discovered was just a tiny piece of this fake world. Earlier that same day, on his way to work, a light fixture had fallen from the sky and crashed to the ground right in front of him. He picked it up and noticed it was labeled Sirius Canis Major. Truman instinctively looked up at the sky but didn't see anything unusual. This was the first time something had happened that he couldn't explain. Shortly after, the radio news reported that an airplane had malfunctioned and lost some parts, so he didn't give it much more thought. Truth was, Truman had his own secrets too. At the office, he'd secretly call around asking about a place called Fiji and a woman named Sylvia, but he never got anywhere. One day, he spotted a pair of eyes in a magazine. After making sure no one was watching, he disguised his actions with a cough and tore out 2 pages, because those eyes meant everything to him. Just then, his manager assigned him to handle an insurance case on a nearby island. Truman seemed reluctant, but his manager warned him that he'd face layoffs if he didn't go. To keep his stable job, Truman reluctantly headed to the dock. He gathered his courage and walked toward the ferry, but stopped in his tracks next to an abandoned boat. His legs went weak. He just couldn't overcome his psychological barrier.